How's it going, homeboys? It is your bro, Titanic Boy. I've been wanting to do this video for quite a long time now, and today we are doing a Draw My Life. Now, I do not have any of these, any special equipment, so let's get on to the story. On April 30th, 2000, a boy was born into the world, and his name, of course, was me, Mackenzie. Yes, I know that my name is stupid, but that's what my parents decided to call me. I have a lovable mother and a very awesome dad. I don't want to give out their real names, so let's just call them Billy and Gina. I don't know, Billy and Gina. So anyway, ever since on this day, I was born into the world. I lived in a small part of a city called Schenectady, New York. And I lived in a small part called Bellevue, which is like a suburban neighborhood. I lived with my mother, me, and my dad. I can't remember what my mom and dad did when I was little, but it was pretty much a fun time for during those 3 years. Well, I went as much as I remember. I went to 2 different preschools: Pine Bush, and Schenectady. And my parents was also married in 2002. They got married, and boy, wasn't it fun. I kind of remember when I brought up the wedding rings up to my parents. I ran down the aisle, screaming and crying in embarrassment. But it was more of a fun time. So, and also in 2003, my two lovable twin sisters was born. Again, I don't want to give out their names, so let's call them Tina and Louise. I know, from Bob's Burgers, but those are the only names that I can come up with. They were born into the world. Funny thing is that when my parents told me that we're gonna have twins, I didn't know what that actually meant, but we actually have 2 sisters. But sadly, my dad and my mother, they were fighting a lot, and of course that caused them to divorce. But my dad, still being a lovable and caring father, he still supported us, and we occasionally see him every single weekend. But later in 2003, my mother and my stepfather had met. Well, they knew each other for a while, but my stepdad had moved in. Funny thing is that when I was 4 years old, my stepdad, he didn't like to watch his football games at our house. He usually goes up to a bar. But the first night that he watched, well, it's better yet, I kept this story to myself, but it was pretty funny, and it ended up with something happening. So anyway, let's skip to kindergarten, my first year of school. I went to a school called Van Corlear, and it was at that time, it was a pretty nice school. There was lots of friends for me to play with. It was such a great time for me. But that's when my downfall of my life happened. See, let's just pretend that this chart here is my education. From kindergarten, it went up until 1st grade. But then, ever since when 1st grade hit, it was a complete downfall. Because Vancouver Bureau actually didn't teach me the proper education, and they just put me in a resource room that just made me read a bunch of packets every single day. But around 2009, something also sad had also hit. I went to a therapist, but it's rather best if I kept this to a secret. But a year later, in 2010, I moved to a new school called Mahonison, or their middle school called Draper. Mahonison got me back on track, but let's also go back a couple years. See, back at Van, I didn't have much friends, or let's just cut to the chase, no friends at all. I made one best friend once, but then he just decided to ditch me. So I was constantly alone. But then, also in the year 2011, when I first went to Draper, I met the most awesomest kid in the world. What was his name? His name was Connor, or known as Wise Connor 101. We met in October, and I even remember the date. It was October 21st, 2010, or 2011 to be short. Well, we met in our social studies class, because I was first moved in there that day, and my teacher just told me to sit next to a redhead kid. But this kid turned out to be one of the most awesomest and one of the most best friends that I have ever had in my life. Also, a couple of years later, my mother and stepfather got married. And I just sat up to the side saying, well, I honestly didn't care. But don't worry. My father, we still had an awesome relationship. We kind of stay like best friends, kind of, but yeah, but he still supported me. He was the most awesomest person in the world. Now it's still the year 2011. Well, something special happened then. The YouTube channel Welder Gangster, I think it was originally called, but the old Gangster Welder was created. But the original video was just me at a Pinewood Derby. But none of us didn't really care. But then in 2013, the channel was revived, and that summer was renamed Titanic Boy 67. Titanic Boy 67. And what was great about that, this started a whole new chapter in my life. It was great. So it's the year 2015 right now. And what's still going on? Well, me and Wise Connor 101 are still best friends. There we are giving each other high fives. it looks stupid. I don't know. I'm just not that great of a drawer. My mother and my stepfather are still married to this day. Yeah, but still do not give a crap. My dad, we're still keeping a really great relationship between each other. And that's pretty much it. Also, in between the year 2011, I met another kid named Chad Miller, now known as Quick Draw, which he was featured in one of my videos before, but then we still became best friends. I met a lot of people over the years, really great friends, really great. I even became friends with another teacher, and we were all nice to each other. It was so great. I really like to thank everybody here on this channel. We are now up to 15,000 views and 24 subs, which that doesn't seem a lot, but pretty soon we're coming on our 5-year anniversary. So, yep. So that is the story of my life. What you see, you probably couldn't read or understand because, well, I don't have a board to draw on, but I really like to thank, before I continue on, I like to thank some people here. Number one, I like to give a really great shout out to my dad. He was the main creator behind this channel and the one who said that who can let me have it. I really like to thank that. I like to thank my father. Dad, if you're watching this video, thank you so much. Now, to my other parents, I like to thank them too for supporting me and helping me outgrow this channel. To my best friend, Connor, I'd like to thank him for sticking by my side. And to everybody else, thank you. Thank you for staying with me and helping me out for all of these years. Now, who am I? My name is Mackenzie Cartier. I'm the main creator of Titanic Quest 67. I am 15 years old. I know that I didn't have much of a life yet, but we don't know what's going to happen in the future. I know I'm still going to stick with this channel. I don't know how long, but it'll be a very long time. I'd like to thank all my homeboys out there for helping me and staying with me. Well, that's all. This video was supposed to mark on the 4th year anniversary of my channel, but then I didn't have time to make a video. But I just like to thank everybody out there who has supported me. Even though I have some downfalls, I went through a couple worst years of my life. It was great. Anyway, this concludes this video. I hope everybody had a nice day. I'd like to enjoy everybody out there. This is Titanic Boy 67. If you have more videos, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll make sure I'll get back to you guys as soon as possible. Remember, homeboys, subscribe.